in a while.
And we're back. So, you guys are going to head out into the cave.
That is the plan.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Hopefully there are no spiders, massive bug.
Okay,
take
you don't have
another
to just
step
keep
in.
listing things. You can just go and
Look,
It's
I
funny
mainly...
'cause-
Way to fucking
Go.
jinx it.
Wait, are we just gonna go off the
You
map?
can-
Well, yeah. As you are stepping out, you proceed through this cavern that basically, like, it looks like it's been hollowed out by at least a decent number of creatures that have hollowed this out over a period of time. It definitely seems deliberate. They definitely tunneled here looking for something, as far as you can tell.
So they knew that there was something here.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like a mine shaft. It doesn't like follow out like veins of ore or anything. But it definitely sort of it's a broad area that's been hollowed to a point, and the point is the wall. So you suspect that they were searching for something that they knew to be around here. And as you proceed down, you notice that like this layer spans out for a little while, and then there's basically like a set of chiseled stone stairs that descend down.
Oh shit.
It's like a spiral staircase that seems to go down for quite some time.
Yes, we'll slowly head down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready follows.
Okay. You descend for about a minute, and you haven't found the bottom of the stairs yet.
Fucking hell.
Just keep going, I guess.
Yeah.
You continue on for maybe another 5 minutes. Still haven't reached the bottom yet.
Fucking hell.
Holy shit!
I'm just concerned that we're not gonna get up. Wait, I'm gonna grab a piece of chalk and put an X on the wall just to make sure that we're actually making progress.
Okay.
Good idea.
Produce a piece of chalk,
Clever.
mark an X.
And then I guess we'll continue.
Cool. You
And
go for
it's-
you go for another 5 minutes. You're still not at the bottom. You do not encounter the X.
I'll put it down.
This
We'll
just
put down a
really
second
fucking
one.
deep.
Okay. You put down a second X.
Oh shit.
I'll just keep on doing that until we decide.
You walk down for another 5 minutes. You feel like you've gone down a huge distance. Like these are not shallow stairs. These are deep stairs.
We're talking like school trip to the castle, steep stairs. Oh boy.
Yeah, perhaps a little wider than that, but yes.
Oh. Wait, where does it go?
Give me history checks, all of you.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Nice, Vondal.
Boom!
All these nat 20s today. What is
Okay.
this?
Look at all the nat ones.
Vondal and Grim, you can only think of one thing that, like, you. Vondal, you've been in your in the family, like in your family you've been down into the the dwarven mines which descend for quite a period of time. You're getting now even beyond sort of that point of mines. You're getting to the deepest part of the known mines, and this is starting to go into unfamiliar territory. You know of two things, both you and Grim know of two things that exist below the known dwarven mines. Actually, no, tell a lie, three things. The first is the ancient dwarven vaults of yore. The second is a subterranean realm known only as the Underdark. And the third thing is said to live right at the very depths of the world is the domain of the Old Ones.
But this isn't creepy at all.
Well, let's hope it's not the old ones. And
Yeah, fingers crossed.
but like, if we found a vault, could you imagine?
Well, especially because the dwarven vaults are thought to have long been lost since well before the First Age.
Yep. Even more reason to keep on going.
Well, if it goes any longer, you might have to take a break. Whew.
Yeah, it is. I'm just like, I don't want to go up again, but I guess we're
Oh
not
my
gonna
god,
have
I'm
to
gonna
do
have to walk all the way back up.
Okay.
Fucking hell.
So,
Worst part about stairs.
do you keep going until you hit something?
I guess if it.
I guess yeah, until
do we
there's
put-
some sort of.
Do we set a time limit even? No. Like, 'cause unless we're like ascending for like 2 hours or more.
Okay. You descend for maybe another 10 minutes more until you reach a stretch of tunnel that slopes slowly downwards and then eventually reaches another staircase. You go down for another 5 minutes again. You've now been travelling for about a half an hour down this winding staircase and path, until eventually you reach the bottom of the second staircase.
Lithari's probably been like not complaining about being old, but commenting on it.
Yeah.
God.
But
What?
she also shows no signs of slowing down.
Oh,
Wolf.
Somehow I think it was the second thing.
Oh.
You come out into an expanse that you would say almost looks like a valley, were it not for the cavernous ceiling overhead.
well, we should probably like take 5 before we continue moving. Just
Yeah.
And
You- You stop to catch your breath, and as you do so, your eyes begin to sort of adjust to the darkness. Kallistrate, you're still sort of like holding your sword aloft, and if it wasn't for the sword, you wouldn't be able to see like basically 10 feet beyond you.
Fantastic.
Except for the fact that when you look at the horizon, there is a soft blue glow on the horizon. I guess you can all make me perception checks.
Oh, I actually have a bonus to that one.
Oh my god, please!
Okay.
Goes blindness. Oh well, almost
Yeah.
blind.
So the only people able to make this out in the far, far distance is Vondal and Lithari. In the far, far distance, this luminous glow comes from what can only be described as a massive mushroom forest that spans probably over a mile in distance. And as the rest of you are looking around, essentially there's a lot of very old looking like bramble thickets. This music is a bit too loud. There's a number of thick, very old looking bramble thickets that seem to run, and even in the pitch blackness, these things seem to grow. Well, have grown to quite a substantial size, and they're basically running up the sides of this valley, so to speak, that is more of a cave. And there's a bunch of withered old, sort of like dry-looking grass that you bend down to touch it, and from its appearances you'd expect it to be like dry and brittle, but it's actually like fleshy and alive and perfectly living, and it seems to thrive in these dark conditions. And about maybe 30 to 40 minutes walk ahead of you is a very large you'd almost be tempted to call it a hill or a mountain of rock, like between you and this mushroom forest. That, if you squint your eyes, you swear you can see like the tops of like some sort of construction just peering over the top.
Can I just say, I never thought I'd have to hear the phrase fleshy grass in my life, and I immediately did.
Well, I say that, I mean, like, you know how like when you touch grass,
No, yeah.
it's springy and supple. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I have never heard it described as fleshy.
Fleshy grass.
Yeah.
Fleshy grass, best grass.
I can't believe Helena's missing the fleshy grass.
I don't know what to say. Like, it just feels like one of those gross words, like moist.
Fleshy grass.
Oh.
We're walking on fleshy grass.
Well, we should probably start. Well, I guess the real question is, how are we gonna get there? Are we just gonna walk there?
Suppose so.
I guess.
I love that you guys are just doing this based entirely off curiosity.
Look,
Look,
find those books. I got
we-
big anvil.
Well,
Um,
it's not purely curiosity, but oh well. But yeah,
Lithari's looking around for any kind of like movement, I guess, but not just like creatures, just like looking at the trees to see if there's any like wind blowing and stuff like that. Just like how still is
For starters, there are no trees.
oh, well, the grass and bushes and stuff.
The grass doesn't seem to like be moved by any sort of wind or anything like that. Most of it is sort of like fairly low and fairly sort of wiry. You got a 23 on perception. As you looking around, you look at one of these particular bramble thickets, and you swear actually that the bramble thicket moved like as you looked around to it, but it's perfectly stationary now.
Great. Stop!
Mm.
Don't roll those dice.
Lithari kind of draws her sword, and it's just like, well, if we're gonna make our way there, might as well stay out on alert.
yeah, that seems wise. So, we know it's the. I think we have realized it's the Underdark by now, right?
That would be a safe assumption, yes. You've
The
you've
Underdark
never been
is-
to the Underdark, so you have no idea. But this is sort of what Tales of the Underdark sound like.
There are no ancients and no vaults, so, or maybe there is a vault, and we're about to find it. No.
Yes, this is definitely a cave and not an ancient dwarven vault. You can tell by the lack of carvings and a distinct absence of gold leaf.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not shiny enough, and there's not enough shit carved into all this rock. The side of that mountain would be like a dwarven epic.
Yeah.
If this was a fucking dwarven vault.
Well, let's get moving. The Underdark isn't known for its kindness.
No, it definitely is not. Okay. So, you slink off towards this construction in the center?
Yep.
Okay. Which of you is bringing up the rear?
Probably me.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Make me a perception check. Okay. Okay, so the column of you guys sort of crossing this valley, plain, cavern. You eventually get to like a sort of a tall rock, and you stop to assess the situation. And you sort of like you're all looking like around and ahead. Vondal, a voice from behind you in very, very rough common says, "What are you looking at?"
Hmm.
I guess I just stop, place like tapping the person in front of me and turn around to see who this is.
Okay, you turn around. Standing in front of you, probably standing at about like 2.5 feet tall, is a squash-faced grey gnome.
I guess then I'm just going to sort of. I guess you probably just reply. Well, the structure up there has certainly caught our attention.
He looks you up and down for a moment and says, "What are you, tourists?" There's a dripping hint of sarcasm in his
Yeah.
comment.
Yeah. I think Vondal just responded by going, "Well, not exactly."
The grace. I presume the rest of you are sort of like turning around to look at this point because there's like a full-blown conversation going on behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The grey-skinned gnome sort of like hitches up his belt, spots you towards the front, Grim, sort of like gives you a nod that is sort of like, "You alright?"
I just nod back.
Oh god,
Okay.
you
Holy
bro
shit.
nod. How dare you bro nod with someone outside of our circle of friends?
How dare
Look,
you?
it's a gnome.
How dare.
It is another gnome. He can have that one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them
Yeah,
in
no.
ages.
Well, give me
Would you just back, like...
nature checks, or like, and actually probably more history checks actually.
Everyone, or
Yeah.
Grim.
Okay.
Um,
Oh my god.
Okay.
Arya. Oh my
Someone
god.
everything about this creature.
Arya. So okay, so I'm gonna say suddenly that lesson that you couldn't remember comes flooding back to you as soon as you see this tiny grey-skinned man, because you remember what you were told about the Underdark, how a long time ago, basically the Elven society cast out a group of its members for worshipping something known as the cult of the spider, and those cast out fled into the Underdark and became the Drow, where they made an unsteady alliance with 2 other species. One species of dwarves known as the Duragar, who, as legend has it, were dwarves who were corrupted by the evil promises of the Elder Gods and driven away from Moradin. And they retreated underground and got darker skin. And amongst those were a race of sprites, similar to how the sprites fled from Litharian's realm to become the gnomes. These also fled from the Feywild and lived underground and became artisans of trickery and illusion. And yeah, you recognize this guy as a deep gnome. So yes, functionally very similar to other gnomes, but makes their home in the Underdark. Oh yes, and the other thing that comes flooding back to you, you remember why House Aranea is important. The matron of House Aranea is a woman known as Lolth, or was a woman known as Lolth, who was the leader of the family that Sahanin cast out and cursed with sunlight sensitivity, and they became the Drow.
Good.
Bum, bum, bum. How dramatic.
That's why. So yeah, the gnome sort of like he sort of hitches up his belt, and sort of like says, "I'll tell you one thing: we don't get many surfaces down here."
Couldn't imagine why.
It's a hell of a long way down for starters.
That is one of many things.
You look pretty far from home yourself, dwarf.
Why is this whole
He's suddenly got a New York accent, but I'm sticking with it.
Oh my god.
Suddenly, he's getting more and more American by the sentence.
Yeah, I know. Every time he speaks, it becomes more clear.
Yeah, forget about it.
Oh my god. Fuck off. Yeah, I don't really sort of... Vondal probably doesn't really respond to that, he just sort of glares, like narrow eyes.
Look, well, we are a long way from home, but we happened to come across this this way down, and we had no idea what we would find down here. So we're kind of wondering what's up with this place, with the building. You know, it's like it's below some ancient ruins, like first era stuff, or first age stuff.
Lithari puts her sword away. So
Okay. Yeah, the gnome sort of like seems to listen to you. Yeah, he sort of he listens to you and sort of says, well, that's interesting and all, but I don't see what that has to do with any of you.
Guess it's mainly just our curiosity, and I might have hoped that this stairway led to some ancient dwarven vaults, but you know.
Now I'm glaring at both of the gnomes.
Sorry to disappoint you, buddy.
It's an experience. But like, can you tell me anything about like the building in the distance?
Sure I can. 5 gold.
You know what?
Great.
I like you. I'll give you 5 gold.
Oh my god, Quinn.
Holy
Really funny.
shit.
Okay. You produce the gold. He takes it, examines it, puts it between his teeth, seems satisfied with it, puts it in a pouch he has on his waist, holds out a hand to you. He says, name's Raz Gravel Smasher.
Quagrim Daemaris.
Sort of
And I'll just shake his hand.
yeah, you shake his hand. He seems very satisfied with the fact that you're willing to shake his hand. And he sort of puts his thumbs into his belt and turns towards the thing in the distance. Says, "Monstrosity over there. That's a Duragar fortress, my friend. Pretty fancy construction too."
Is it like in use?
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
So, I assume you're not a fan of the Duragar?
He shrugs and says, they're people.
I guess.
Don't associate with them much myself, but I generally keep to myself.
Yeah. Well, good to know. Don't want to cause problems by walking into a fortress, you know.
He chuckles to himself and says, that you would. They don't take well the surfaces, not the Duragar.
Yeah.
And he turns and looks at Arya and he says, "Especially not you."
Oh boy.
I just glare at him.
Not exactly a big fan of elves.
The feeling is mutual.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Lithari kind of turns to the little deep gnome and asks, kind of points back to the direction we came in and says, "You wouldn't have happened to see anybody, any Durgar, anyone go up those stairs over there recently?"
He extends a hand towards you and rubs his fingers together. In the universal gesture for how about you pay me for that information.
I'll flick him a copper.
Wow!
Oh my god!
He doesn't even bother to catch it.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I'm sorry for my friend here. He has no idea what he's doing, or she has no idea what she's doing. But yeah,
That was like 20% of my net worth.
Oh my god!
20% of your fucking money.
Holy
Wait,
shit!
pick that up again. Yeah.
look. How about like? I know I've already paid you for information, but I'll give you another gold
Oh
if
my
you tell her.
god. This guy.
He considers you for a moment, takes the gold, and says, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did. Big old mining team. Went up and down there a couple of times about a month ago. Came back looking real satisfied with themselves, carrying some big heavy anvil and stuff."
Any idea who they were, or where they went?
Oh, they were definitely dwarves from the fortress, I tell you that much.
Wait, dwarves from the fortress? Oh,
Durgar.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, the Durgar from the
Yeah.
fortress.
Yeah, that's just like I just need to remember they were the same.
Yeah.
Same thing. Wow, seems like we may be causing some trouble after all. So,
Seems to be par for the course. Lithari kind of chuckles.
well, I guess.
Thinking of going in there, are you?
Yeah, they've got something we kinda wanted, and
He inhales sharply through his teeth and just goes, "They see you coming. They'll fill you full of arrows a mile off."
yeah. We're gonna have to think this through and probably decide if we even want to bother. I can't imagine our odds are right.
I would ask you if you knew any other way into the fortress, but we'd probably have to pay you more.
He looks at you and smiles and says, "Oh, I could even get you to the front door. But it'd really cost you."
Okay, time out. Friendos.
Friendos.
Can I?
Friendos. That's
Why
totally
did we become your friends?
No, I was thinking, can I make an insight check to see how serious he is, or if he's more like interested in the money in this case?
Oh, definitely make an insight check on him.
Yeah, Lithari would as well. So,
Christ
Okay.
almighty, both of you.
Yeah, he seems to be genuine.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god, we're gonna get fucking destroyed.
Oh,
I don't trust this
like
guy.
what kind of money we talking about? Like how much is this worth to you?
He seems to think for his moment and says, I like you, so 500 gold.
Oh my fucking god, no
Oh
way!
shit.
Fucking called it.
Nope, we can find our own way in. Thank you very much.
If we want to weigh in.
500.
how like beefy does this guy look for a gnome?
Oh, so
I'm not gonna punch him.
Beefy, beefy, not exactly. Wily, very.
Yeah.
Mm.
Don't, please.
Lithari kind of struts up to him and it's just like, well,
Oh my god.
how would you say about a challenge then to see if you could knock a few zeros off of that?
Like 2 zeros off of that.
Right?
I'll be okay with 1-0. 50
He-
gold.
I would be okay with 2 zeros.
He raises an eyebrow and says, "What exactly did you have in mind?"
Well, I could play you for it, and she produces her deck of cards. Or we could, have, I don't know how common taverns are down here, but classic arm wrestle.
He looks at your deck of cards and says, "Sure, I'll play you a game of cards."
I can't believe you're gonna play cards with an actual gangster.
Mobster.
Perfect.
So, name your terms.
Well, if we win, you take us there for 25 gold. And
Okay. Make me a persuasion check.
oh boy, here we go.
Mm.
Let's zero. Yes.
Holy
Nice!
shit.
Okay.
Alright.
You're on persuasion. Still good at 19.
Times the dice just go lucky.
The few times dice are in our favor.
Okay, so he eyes you up for a moment before he says, "Okay, that's a pretty hefty compromise on my part. I'll agree to that, but if I win, my price becomes that bottle," and he points to your ever-smoking bottle.
Deal.
I was gonna say I'd fucking sell that. I'd be willing to power that thing for less than 25 gold.
It-
I don't know how trouble that thing's fucking caused.
It's worth in excess of 500, I will point out.
That bottle is
Yeah.
great. It's just very situational.
Yeah.
And we haven't found that situation yet.
Okay. So yeah, he will play you at cards.
I see this going very badly.
Yep.
I think. I hope.
So
Does the,
do you want to give me a proficiency in your gaming set roll using, I would say, wisdom?
Oh, I'm good at that.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my
Holy
fucking
shit.
god!
Straight away.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I'm
Fucking
losing
rip.
my mind.
Yeah, same, honestly.
Okay. So
I want to make an insight check to make sure he's not cheating.
yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to give me an insight check?
Or would that... Yeah, okay. Would that be perception or insight?
You can roll either, because you can either try and see if he cheats or watch his body language to see if he cheats.
I'm watching him with fucking
Yeah,
eyes of a hawk.
I'd be watching
Okay.
his hand, though. Oh,
Mm,
Okay.
shouldn't have said anything. My passive
Okay.
perception is 17.
Vondal, do you want to give me a perception check as well? Okay.
Not that much better.
Question now is, can you cheat your way out of like the perfect play?
yeah,
That is the question. Okay, so you play a couple of rounds of cards He wins a few, you win a few. But when it comes down to basically like the deciding hand, he places down. He basically places a full house, and you're just like, how the fuck did he get a full house? You swap your cards, and you play Royal Flush.
Come on.
Damn.
And he looks at you for a second, and he's just like, either you cheat better than I do, or you're real lucky.
It's definitely the luck.
Oh.
Alright. Can't believe I'm doing this, but 25 gold it is.
It was a pleasure doing business with you.
Yeah, I bet it is.
I
She kind of claps.
I'm still skeptical as if this guy can get us there at all. So
I'm just smirking.
That's Zane.
Okay.
who wants to carry him?
So, yeah, he says, okay then, follow me. And he leads you up one side of the rise that cuts across the center of the chasm. And for a moment you wonder where he's taking you. And then, Arya, you spot this first. Utterly imperceptible from ground level, there is basically a groove that runs all the way down a natural curve in this rock. You suspect at some point, knowing your ranger skills and your knack for natural geography, you suspect at some point that there was a water flow that descended from the ceiling that has expired, that has carved like a massive groove down the side of this rock, and he only has to walk in it, as does Grim and Vondal, but if the rest of you crouch, you are impossible to see from the top of the ridge or from the bottom. You would have to literally be standing maybe 20 feet away from you to be able to perceive that this thing even exists.
Well, shit.
Alright then.
Okay. And, true to his word, you end up coming down right next to it's almost like a church roof that is next to you, and this winds down the side of this, like by this church roof, and comes out like right by a doorway. And you're traveling for like maybe 30 to 35 minutes to get here, and you find yourself overlooking an entryway into the hollowed out mountain ridge.
This is kind of like this isn't like the front door or anything, is it?
It looks like it's the only way in or out of the mountain hold, which, knowing what little you know of dwarven strongholds, is pretty standard.
Okay.
One way in, one way out.
Yes.
1,000 guards and one prisoner. No.
Terrible.
Yes. Vondal, yeah. Vondal, you know as well that the general consensus for dwarven construction is that it generally only has one surface entrance, which makes it a nightmare for fire prevention. But that's why that's one of the reasons why the dwarves have the best early advanced fire warning in the entire of the material plane.
Hey. But
and
You had fire brigades long before anybody else.
Anyway, this is the point though where Vondal's like looking at the Lithari, going, right.
Oh, I will point out as well, in difference to the picture, there's no dwarf woman holding a torch.
Okay.
That's
But,
just in the picture.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I just imagined that to be us.
Yeah.
At least well stood. But Vondal's probably turning to Lithari and going, "Well, this is probably your last chance. How badly do you want whatever was missing from that forge?"
Not enough to pay 500 gold.
I was gonna give him a look, like no one asked you.
Well, to be honest, I don't really have anything better to do. She kind of gives him a smile.
Holy shit.
That's not the answer I was hoping for. What reason do you have for recovering this in the first place?
I told you before. This is just curiosity.
Well, Vondal, otherwise, think of it like this. We are like the stuff or the gear they stole is capable of making incredibly powerful weapons, which we might not want falling into the wrong hands.
Yes, I will point out the idea of the Duragar having access to making weapons like Lithari's sword, and by extension their allies the Drow having access to weapons like Lithari's, is not a comforting thought for anybody.
Well, nobody can make a sword like Lithari's sword, let's be real.
You don't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
I
don't know that.
you don't know that.
that's kind of.
She likes to think it. I
Yeah, you definitely think that, but
Well, yeah, I
You
don't think
can't
I think
prove
Lithari's smart enough. Lithari's smart enough to know that there's probably somebody who can make swords as good as she can, but
and if it's anybody, it's the dwarves.
yeah.
Ha
Loath as the elves are to admit it.
ha! Screw you, elves.
And to be fair, even if they made swords half as good as yours, it would still be terrifying.
Yes.
yeah, it'd be mildly concerning,
Right.
to say the least.
Right, well, we're probably not going to be leaving this place with anvils, but hey,
But
literature is good enough.
can steal the literature and the raw material. Wait, they didn't even take the raw material. Perhaps there was more in the.
Yeah, there might have been raw materials in the actual room we encountered rather than.
Yes.
Well, the secret
But
room.
what you found was the elemental brass. You
Yeah,
didn't find any
that's
black
the
steel.
Yeah, so the black steel's probably been taken.
If we can take away the rare ingredients, that would also help. No, can we fit the anvil in a bag of holding? I feel like it can't.
I feel like it'd be too heavy.
It would be very big to try and put in the bag of holding.
No, I don't think you can put an anvil in the bag of holding. Also,
Well,
weight
there's-
in the bag of holding.
There's a limit, like 5,000 pounds of stuff.
Yeah. Also,
5,000 pounds is a lot of shit.
I will point out that
5,000 pounds.
the anvil is not necessarily the key part. It is
Yeah.
the ability to reproduce a forge capable of making the material, which so far as Lithari is aware, the only people who knew how to do that was herself and the person who claimed to have made this hundreds of thousands of years ago. Well, not hundreds of thousands of years ago, a couple of thousand years ago.
A long ass time.
Yeah, back in the First Age.
Well, weird. I feel like stealth is going to be key here.
Ha.
We don't do stuff.
But yeah, I think I have to say no more before you know what I'm.
Lithari kind of
Problem.
turns to the what was his name again? Raz.
Raz.
Yeah. And asks, so you mentioned guards with arrows.
I did.
Lithari kind of looks around. Does she kind of see anybody?
Give me a perception check. You don't see any.
Well, where are they then?
He points directly upwards.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
they'd be up watching.
As you look up, far above you, there is a parapet that overlooks the entire plain. You can't see any guards, but it would make sense for them to be up there.
Yeah.
Like, the whole point was evading the guards, so
Right.
if we can see them, they can see us.
Well, which is not what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have managed to sneak along the side of the mountain so that you've ended up underneath the
I
overhang.
think just as important as being undetected is being fast.
Well, I think. I assume we can remember like the way back as the same way that we came, right? Or like we know how. We came.
Yes. Now that you know it's there, it's not too difficult to find.
Because I assume we're gonna send Raz back, and I assume he's not gonna be willing to participate any further.
Oh,
Nope.
probably
Yeah.
not a chance.
He's the only reason he's still here is he's waiting for his 25 gold.
Well, I think I barely have 25 gold anymore, so somebody else is gonna have to. Oh no, I still
I'll
have
pay it.
44.
I'll pay it.
He meticulously counts the 25 gold that you give him.
Before you go, Raj, any idea how many guards are here? Is it like hundreds, thousands, dozens, a handful?
I need to roll for him because he actually has a feature that would help him here, but I need to know how much he knows. Okay. Okay, so let me open a new tab in Google. He tells you I need to actually add up the numbers.
Full numbers.
He rattles off without even sort of thinking about it. He says 26 on the ground floor during the day. During the evening, most of them go upstairs. Patrolling the upper floors, there are probably about 40 of them, give or take a couple of absent guards. And then up in the Master's Tower, probably about another 20-25. I didn't get really to see up there very much.
Well, that is more than I actually expected you to know.
He taps the side of his head and is like, photographic memory, friend.
That is very useful. You know, I'll hand you an additional gold for that. Just because I want to keep him happy.
he takes the additional gold and just sort of looks at you and just says, "You're mighty generous. You might want to get that checked."
Yeah, he really should.
Yeah.
Look, I just
Wow.
I want to keep him on our good side because
I don't.
if he decides we aren't worth it, all he has to do is warn the guards.
It's very true.
That is true.
Like he is way more valuable than we might realize.
Also, I love how you're telling him off for being generous. It's like, I gave away 10 days rations in one
Yeah,
go.
but those were not to some people who were trying
Yeah.
to con us into giving them 500 gold.
I mean, he wasn't
Also,
trying to con us, he was
10
just saying,
days
he
rations
wanted
is
to
worth
use
about
it.
5 gold.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. He wasn't trying to con us. He was saying, if you want me to do this really dangerous, potentially life-threatening thing, I want money out of it. He is also a dick, but it's not entirely unfeasible that he wants that much money.
It's not an asshole, he's
entirely
just a
unreasonable.
businessman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh my
still
god.
business.
Bad.
If cars had been invented yet, he'd open a used car dealership.
Oh my god.
God's sake.
Those are con men,
well,
so that's
I guess that's all we needed for that. Anything else anyone can think of?
He's not a con man, he's a scumbag.
Why can't he be both?
He can be, he's just not, I don't think.
Guys, but yeah, Wait, where did we leave off? Even? Oh, yeah, he called me generous, and I should be checked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the last thing that happened.
Yep.
Well, don't worry about it. You're more useful than you might realize.
Oh no, I'm perfectly aware.
Okay. Well,
Well.
I guess that's where we say goodbye.
Guess our partnership ends here.
Oh.
Either way, I'm probably never gonna see you again, so good luck with all that.
Yeah, I'll like hold out my hand to shake his, and then who knows, we might see you again in the future. Although, don't count on it.
Believe me, I won't. Shakes your hand.
Good luck.
Yeah, and he disappears from sight.
There he goes.
There you go.
There he goes. I'm glad we didn't pay him 500 gold for this shit.
500 may not have been worth it, but it was definitely worth the 31 or 2 gold we gave in total.
Mm.
Yeah.
We went from mysterious fortress to knowing exactly what is going on.
Also,
Down to knowing the exact number of guards patrolling it.
Yep.
yeah, but they're also Duragar. They're not like fleshy.
What?
Are Duragar like
the
non-fleshy?
grass.
Oh,
Would I not know that?
you don't know. Mythology says that they're not.
Well, then, as far as Vondal's concerned, they're not fleshy. They're
Yeah.
fucking like golems. So
Yes. Yeah, as far as you're
very
concerned, they're
nervous about
golems.
this.
Because that's what your mythology says.
Yep.
Oh.
Well,
Because the dwarves weren't always fleshy.
Also, the mythos goes, yes.
Yeah.
You were once creatures made of precious metals and gemstones, and then the Forge Father breathed life into each of his constructs.
He probably honestly goes through that just to explain that,
Yeah.
that the Duragar probably aren't like flesh and bone. This
Wow.
isn't FYI. Actually, probably feels like that's important.
Yeah.
He gives everyone a brief history on dwarven mythology.
well,
Yes.
Lithari probably throws her arm around Vondal's shoulder and just kind of says, well, we can handle 100 metal golems, can't we?
Sure about that one?
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
Look, there's not even
No.
100 here. There's like 91, 92-ish.
That's basically 100.
Uh,
Let's just say if I had every militiaman I'd ever trained by my side, I don't think we could take on that many.
No. Especially as most of the militia you trained were farm boys.
Exactly.
Oh.
well,
Well, then we might have to take a more careful approach.
And a fast approach.
I guess the question would be: is there anything we could like adjust our armor or like to make it like a little more or like a little quieter? Like take off parts so that we don't have like metal banging on metal, or well, I guess with chain it's
I
not
mean,
gonna work.
we have
Chain
Pasta
and
Trace.
full plate, that's kind of hard.
I mean, we have Pasta Trace, so I could cast that and give you all 10 plus to your
Yeah,
spell check.
that's probably the best.
Yeah,
we
but I
got.
feel like we need
Yeah.
like a plus 20.
Look, it's only disadvantage. It's not that bad.
It's bad.
It is pretty bad.
Honestly,
But
I
unfortunately,
usually
I think
get.
pass without traced is the best we can manage.
Honestly, I'll probably roll on that one anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Don't.
Although,
It won't matter in the long run.
Oh. Okay. Well, if we're heading in, we should probably prepare also the price.
How long does Pass Without a Trace last for?
Good question.
I think it's an hour.
10 minutes or an hour, I can't remember.
I think it's an hour.
We could always have me and Arya scout ahead. I promise I won't drag
yeah,
her
up
into
to 1
anything.
hour.
Up to an hour, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, you do have to maintain concentration on it, though.
I do.
Don't get shot, please.
Don't get shot, don't get, like, stabbed.
At least, as much as I would like to have you scout ahead, I feel like it's not gonna add too much value because we still need to make sure nobody comes from behind anyway.
Yeah.
And we have no way to warn you if you're ahead without alerting more people.
It's true. Your only way of silently warning people who are far away is in a grove somewhere.
I know.
Yep.
Oh,
We
V,
miss
come
you.
back.
Yeah, and I feel like making animal noises is not gonna help this guy.
No.
Although,
Totally.
who is holding the figurine of wondrous power? That's the question. The silver raven statue.
I gave it to Vondal.
Wait, didn't we?
Or did that get sold?
I think,
Everybody check your inventory for the silver raven statue.
I think we got rid of it at some point, didn't we? Or
Why?
I can't remember.
Because it wasn't that useful.
It's
Yeah,
in the
okay,
back of
fair.
holding.
The bag
No.
of holding?
Everybody check your inventories.
It's not mine.
It's not in
It's not-
mine.
It's not
It's
written
also
down in
not.
mine.
Shit.
Still in our
Goddamn
item
guy.
list. It's still in our list of magic items, though.
It's still in the list of magic items, but if it's not in any of your
I-
inventories, you no longer have it.
Check Fee's bag.
I'll check these back now.
I'm pretty sure that might be it.
Uh, it is not in V's backpack. So I'm guessing you no longer have it.
Well, there it
Well,
goes off
shit.
into the void.
Well,
This thing only turned into a raven for 12 hours, so unless the thing was 6 hours away, there was no way you could get a message to it anyway.
yeah, but I was thinking more. You could send that between members hiding outside of the fort,
So, you could.
Oh well.
but you don't have it, so that's not a problem.
Oh well.
You mean that's not a solution?
It's also not a problem. It's
Yeah.
not either.
Oh well.
Anyway,
And suddenly it's gone from our magic item list.
Anyway.
Well, I'll be the first to admit that usually I'm on the other side of this sort of situation, so it might be best for one of you to lead.
Actually, that might be to our advantage. How would you run, or like, where would you run security usually?
Well, I would first of all have the majority of them guard the front door, which doesn't seem to be the case.
well, they are. They're just a level above you.
Yeah, but I would have them like right around the gate. Especially if it's the only way in or out.
But if they don't know that path is there and they believe they can see every possible approach to the front door, they technically do have the front door covered.
Well, you've always got to account for
Well, I
the
guess.
unexpected. So,
Overconfidence is a
hoping-
flimsy shield.
Well, and it's showing, isn't it? Otherwise, we would never have been here. Well, I guess we should just. We should have either Arya or no. Arya has to make sure she stays close enough to us. Lithari.
Well, I mean, we could
Well,
just
how
stay
about
at the
we-
very limit of the.
Yeah, because you only have to be
Yeah.
within 30 feet of me.
Yeah,
so
we
it's
can
quite
just.
a
The rest
range.
of us can just stay at the absolute limit of the pass without trace.
Yeah, what I was thinking is we have Arya stick like relatively close to us, so we make sure we stay within the bubble, and then we send Lithari just like 10, 15 feet ahead to look around corners and stuff.
10, 15 feet ahead of the pass without a trace, or
No, of just the party. Like, it might still be within Pass Without a Trace. I
Yeah,
think
it's
Yeah,
within-
pass out trace
Because
is
it's a
30
range.
Yeah,
feet.
Task Without a Trace is a 30-foot radius.
Oh, I guess we can do up to
Fucking
30
hell, that's
feet
huge.
then.
It's
Yeah,
very
real
big. Yeah.
big. It's
So,
so
if
great.
so if me, Grim, and Kelariis
So don't freak
right
Well-
at
out
the
too much.
back of the area as much
Yeah.
as we can.
Look, I don't want to be more than like a turn basically away from someone. So 30.
I mean, we
Yeah,
won't be
30
for
feet
30
is-
feet because
will
that's
be
the
a
edge of it
turn, yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Because it,
Yeah, but like if we keep
So
Arya
we'll
close
be
to us,
like
just
we'll be
send
like
Lithari.
25 feet behind.
Well, that's if we take Arya as the front runner.
Well, if you scroll to the bottom when the map finishes loading, you can
Aha!
arrange yourselves. I need to give Kelariis some more light.
The big map.
Thank
the
you.
Big one.
I'd like to be able to see a little bit. Cries.
Can't see
No.
anything.
It's okay, I'm next to you.
Don't worry, we can't see much either.
Yeah, it's a very small room we're in.
Well, you're this is you guys standing like on the stairs that lead up to the front door. So.
Well, I'd be happy with scouting ahead. A couple.
I'll scout ahead.
Just make sure you stay close-ish.
Close-ish.
Close.
But not close to us, because we're loud.
Yeah.
We clank a lot.
Oh yeah, I should probably describe what you can see in front of you.
Oh yeah.
Essentially, the doors in front of you are two very heavy doors that are sort of they're wooden doors inlaid with a bronze mural, and the bronze mural depicts basically I think there's five dwarven figures kneeling in front of a figure that has its one hand balled into a fist and the other hand like closed over the top of it, as if concentrating on something. And the five dwarven figures are kneeling. One of them is holding a large gemstone. One of them is holding a war pick. One in the center is holding up a crown, and the ones on the other side are holding I think it's a hoe and can't remember what the last one is. A hoe and a scroll. The figure that is the thing that strikes you about the figure that has its one hand fist and one hand over the fist, it has a human face, except from where the nose should be, down to the chin, is a series of 8 or 9 extended tentacles.
Oh boy.
Nope.
No. Yep.
Anybody with
Right
any
out of there.
D&D experience knows immediately what that is, but it's fine.
Let's really hope there's one of those in here.
Just nope, right the fuck on out of this place.
Oh,
Oh,
Actually, yeah, you guys could make me history checks to see if you know what this depicts.
Well,
Fuck.
there was
No.
like Master's Chambers, so
oh yeah. Oh god. We don't need an elder brain.
well,
Whoa.
Okay,
cool.
Vondal and Grim are the only people who know this, and that makes a lot of sense. Essentially, this is a mural depicting the ancient tale when the Duragar turned away from Moradin the Forge Father and pledged their allegiance to the beings that dwelled in the Underdark. Some of known as the Elder Gods, but also occasionally referred to as Mind Flayers.
Lovely.
Vondal just sort of like shivers slightly.
Yes, it's a very creepy mural.
is no. Well, I guess I'm just gonna I would keep it to myself. I don't want to cause a
Yep.
panic. Not yet.
Wow.
Keep this information to yourself.
The question is, what does Vondal do?
He just shivers.
Okay.
He just looks at it and just goes, "Ugh."
Okay. Well, I guess it's time to go in.
Yeah, I guess I push open the door unless there's any other obvious way of opening it.
Yeah, it just seems to push open.
Just push it open just enough so I can slip through.
Okay.
Should we make stealth checks?
That is what I'm about to ask you to do.
Everybody.
Everybody for now, and we'll count this for the
Wow.
first few minutes.
Oh, Christ.
At least I didn't roll on that one.
This is true.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Plus 10.
Yeah, everybody's is
Okay.
plus 10.
The
So.
best stealth roll I've ever done.
Oh my god, Lord.
Whopping 28. Kelariis.
That's...
Kelariis, sneakier than Arya.
Oh my god.
Not sneakier than Lyra.
I don't think anybody's sneakier than Lyra, let's be
That's
real.
true.
Yeah.
Oh, something I should point out, Arya. The fact that you're so deep underground, Lyris finds mildly
Saying that this is
unnerving.
a-
Sorry, say again?
Keep going. Just ignore me.
Oh,
Make
I
a
was-
stupid fucking reference.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, Lyra is unnerved by the fact that you are this far underground, but the lack of enclosed space makes her mildly more comfortable about it.
Yeah, I was worried that she would get scared, but
I mean,
It's
she
not-
she
it
is
doesn't
scared, but
feel
as long
like
as
a
you're
thing.
there, she's kind of okay with it.
yeah.
Especially got the
Being
characters with the
very
most heartfelt interactions in this party is fucking Arya and Lyra.
I mean, we were like bonded. So
Yeah.
I
I mean, they
know.
can literally like share their feelings with each other just by looking at each other.
Yeah. I mean, so can B and I, but we don't.
But
fucking
you don't know that.
so who cares?
Okay, yeah, you can step inside, Lithari. You push one of the doors open.
And I guess I'll move. Oh, I'll move just a couple feet forward before.
Okay. You find yourself in a corridor. To your right is a large set of double doors, which even through your passive perception, you can hear the sounds of feasting going on from behind these double doors. There are a number of people like there's drinking, talking. There's the smell of cooking coming from somewhere in that direction. There are people being loud and raucous and quite possibly drunk.
Is that from the double doors ahead of me or beside
From the double doors to your left.
Okay. I'll kind of.
There's also a door in the wall to your right, which it seems like a very heavy wooden door, but it's only a single door, and it's well, I suppose there isn't really anything else notable about it. You don't hear anything coming from the other side of that door without listening further.
Yeah, I'll go up to it and listen.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Yes.
Okay. You hear the sounds of one person who seems to be talking very loudly to a group of other people who seem to be answering the questions or fielding questions. Maybe it's hard to tell because you don't speak Undercommon.
Okay.
But yes, there is definitely a number of people in there, and occasionally you hear the sounds of like scraping of metal, which sounds like somebody just sort of like adjusting the position that they're sitting in a set of armor.
Okay. And I'll go up and listen at this door.
Okay, give me another perception check. Okay, you hear nothing at all.
I'll kind of go back here and inform everybody of what I heard.
Okay.
3 doors, door ahead, nothing. Okay. But be careful of the doors side to side.
Well, I just realized before we go in further, I haven't even considered where to look for the material.
Well,
Well, Lithari, I assume you know where to, and I assume you will recognize signs of a forge.
Yes, well, I would assume the forge should be in a basement, but it appears that from what Raz told us, there isn't one. So,
Yeah.
probably close to the more guarded area.
Well, I'll trust you know or have the best idea of all of us where to look.
well,
Actually, Vondal.
Ferrous. Well, yeah, Ferrous. Would I have an idea of the typical layout of a dwarven fortress?
Give me a history check. You can have advantage.
Oh.
Okay. You know that typically in a typical dwarven fortress, there tend to be guard bunk rooms and general communal areas for the military in the front. Things like smithies, material stores, etc., tend to be stored further away from the doors. Mainly for the principle that if attackers breach the first set of doors, you generally tend to want to hem them in as far as possible. Generally, after about after a couple of rooms, there's often an open courtyard, which is another chance to pepper attackers with arrows. And then you can move on into like more areas like housing, lodging, resources and infrastructure, and then generally like depending on whether it's built up or down, the higher or then lower if it's descending tends to be like more important quarters like military leadership, government, nobles, king.
Yeah.
Presumably this one goes upwards from what you've been told.
Yeah. But no, where would then? So I'm guessing any literature related to this will either be in the forge itself or potentially in a library.
Probably a similar sort of area in the back somewhere.
Right. Okay. There you go. I'll relay that information. Because we have to make our way through military quarters and then through to the back. But I guess we don't.
Not necessarily through the military quarters.
Oh.
You definitely at some point, if your estimations are anything to go by, you'll have to go through a courtyard that will be open to the air and will possibly have patrolling guards above.
So yeah, relay all that information.
Assuming this follows standard procedure.
But we wouldn't have to go up to get to the forge, ideally.
Unlikely.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Just to get to.
Generally, because you don't want to have to carry resources, huge amounts, like up, if you can avoid it.
Well, let's.
Or down.
I guess that was all. Let's do this.
Yeah.
We'll just follow.
So we
Okay.
just need to go back. We don't need to go up or down.
Okay. Even with Pass Without a Trace, it's quite hard to move quietly in these stone halls. But you don't seem to draw any attention.
So I guess we'll just go into the doors at the end.
Okay.
I'll open one.
Okay, you push the doors open. And are immediately greeted by a courtyard.
Alright then.
At least you've been warned.
In the center of the courtyard is a very intimidating statue surrounded by 4 flaming braziers. The very intimidating statue appears to show an elf woman, but unlike most elf women that you have seen, this one appears to have a small set of not quite like animal horns, more like demon horns, like protruding from the top of her head. She also has 4 arms.
Fun.
Do I see any kind of patrols around the area?
Give me a perception check.
Damn it.
From vaguely what you can hear, it sounds like there is somebody in armor patrolling above you. But if there is, you can't see him,
It only sounds like one person?
as far as you can tell.
Okay. I'll kind of let everybody else know that.
As you look out into this courtyard as well, you can see immediately you can see 3 other doors. One that is over here in the opposite wall. Hang on, let me draw, you bastard. Okay, yeah, there's one over in that wall. There's one over in that wall. And there's one that's just around the corner to your right. It's difficult to tell, but there may also be one on the other side of the statue, but it's hard to see from where you're standing currently.
Yeah. Well, my suggestion would be to make for the nearest door as quickly and quietly as possible, but...
But we want to head to the back.
There's more ways than a straight line.
If it's only a single person, we could potentially skirt around the courtyard underneath.
Maybe.
There is a slight overhang that you might be able to make use of.
Do you think you all can be that quiet? Just kind of looks at the people in armor.
Alright, look now.
Laura's got the best stealth check out of the humans.
Well-
The humanoids in this group.
Well, I assume you've probably explained the layout of the room.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just like, well, it sounds like the nearest door also goes... will presumably go away from where we want to go. So heading for the nearest door is potentially not ideal.
Well, the nearest door is literally just off to your right, and you expect it leads into the same room that the door that is just behind you.
Yeah, that too.
That would also make a lot of sense.
If we want to head to the back, the one we want is, well, going to be on the opposite side of the courtyard.
Well, we also wouldn't want to make it all the way there and open it to find a dozen guards looking at us.
No.
Getting out of here is gonna be messy.
But
Now I wish we had a teleport scroll on us.
While you're having this conversation, can you all make me another stealth check?
Shoot.
You are spending a lot of time talking.
Yep. Oh,
That's a 13.
Nice.
That's 10.
God, 0.
Whopping 0/10.
oh.
Fuck.
Okay.
Well,
This is why we should stop talking.
Okay.
Just do.
honestly, it's better to get caught here than in the courtyard.
Yeah, if we're right at the door.
That's fair.
The sounds of conversation from the right-hand door have ceased, and all of a sudden you hear somebody wearing armor beginning to walk towards the door.
Shit.
So it's a motion for everybody to get into the courtyard and hug the wall on the inside.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
There's nothing.
Okay, so yeah, you have your regular movement.
She'll also motion for like Kelariis to get on the opposite side of the door that she is.
Oh. Like to be on the same side as all of you?
No, where you are is kind
Oh,
of
okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood what you were saying.
Just
Gotcha.
realized if we're trying to hide, we just got Vondal out of the pass without a trace.
It's
Hmm.
fine right now. We'll deal with
I mean,
it
I
later.
can swap with Lyra, and we can. Then
No,
it'll
because
be
it's
fine.
too late.
It's fine.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, he
She-
rolled a
Luka-
natural 0, so at this point doesn't matter.
Lithari's readying to attack whoever gets through the door.
Fuck's sake.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably attack as soon as.
So 6 seconds go by. Nobody seems to come out yet. What are you guys doing with the next round?
Praying that they give up.
Okay. Praying is a free action.
I'll maybe motion for Arya to move closer to Vondal.
Sit on
Stop
top
with the
of
whiff.
Lyra.
Swap.
Okay.
Yeah, other than that, I'm still just got my sword in one hand and a fist in fist emoji either.
Wait, sorry. Did you say you have a sword in one hand and a fist in the other?
I was about to, but stopped myself.
You kind of did, though.
Tried to bail.
Like, you should
Sure.
grab one from the hack's place. There were plenty of spare fists.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
I have a lot of questions if you've done that.
Anyway.
Oh, Jesus.
Readied actions.
Oh, great.
Oh, boy.
Yep. Hitting him.
Okay.
Can't fucking reach him from here.
So as you guys are doing your readied actions, a dwarf with a holding a short sword, carrying a large, almost too large for him, like almost like a hoplon shield, comes around the corner in a heavy grey chainmail.
Do I have advantage?
You do, because he technically hasn't seen you yet.
Oh my.
Nice.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make that a stunning strike.
Okay, that's a hit.
I should hope it's a hit. I would be very concerned if it wasn't.
And he has to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, Constitution saving throw.
Making a dwarf roll a con save.
Yeah, don't make dwarves
Right.
make con saves. That's a bad idea.
Oh, well, look, it can always work.
Also,
Can you look up while I'm doing this what the condition that he gets?
I believe it's
Is.
stunned.
Because if it's stunned, I don't believe he can speak.
Yeah.
What is your DC?
16.
So you bring the sword around to try and to try and stun him. You strike him, and you feel the blow bite deep, and he is almost stunned by it.
Alright.
Shit.
Hit
But-
him again.
Oh yes, no shit. It is still your turn. So
Uh-huh.
that's again a hit.
Making it a stunning strike again.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh my god.
I forgot you get 2 attempts at this.
Do I get a bonus? I don't get a bonus action, right? Because it's.
No, it's just your action. You only get ready to action. So it's con save again. The sword bites into him the second time, and he opens his mouth and he yells something in Undercommon.
Oh shit.
I would like everybody to roll me initiative.
huzzah.
Oh, I tried so hard.
Alrighty, here we go.
Oh shit! I'm so bad at this.
If only he'd just come up at Kelariis' side, and
Oh.
he would just be dead
Arya?
instead.
Yeah, I got a 20 on the first roll, so that's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay.
20.16.
To be
Oh,
fair,
I mean,
did,
Lithari doesn't do bad damage. Like, that's
yeah,
some
I did,
pretty
I did
damage.
31 damage.
Yeah. I
That's
was
about what I could do.
like he's got some serious injuries. Hang on, oops, I fucked this up.
Stab him.
Let's just delete that 20. Okay, sort descending. Is that right now? Do you see everyone in the initiative order correctly, or is there duplicates?
Yes.
No duplicates.
That's good.
There's just no dwarf or dwarf.
Yeah, he hasn't rolled yet. That's fine. Okay. So he rolls in. Okay, cool. So he's in. His colleagues.
Just out of curiosity, because I was always wondering, are the decimals the dex squares?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because yours is not. Yeah, it should be on for you. Because basically, I'm using the dex thing to as a tiebreaker.
Yeah, that's
But I
fine.
never give the tiebreaker to the NPCs because I feel like the players should always win tiebreakers.
Yeah, yeah.
It was confusing to us at first too.
Yes.
Yeah.
All you need to worry is the order that it ticks through. You don't need to look at the actual numbers.
Yeah.
So, starting from the top, Arya.
Oh god. I'm not sure if I should do my bow or my scimitar. Probably the scimitar.
I think they deal the same damage, don't they?
Yeah, but I'm just wondering. It feels like more of a close quarters fight.
We're in an open courtyard with a platform above it where guards can shoot at us from.
That is true.
This isn't a close combat situation.
Okay, whatever.
At least
Yes.
not yet, anyway.
Well, as long as you're more.
image of Lithari stabbing this guy, and then Arya with a longbow right behind her, shooting past her.
Okay, yeah, that's a
Okay, I
hit
didn't
because of
hear
your
them anyway.
advantage.
Lyra can't move for her reaction, can she?
No.
Didn't think so. Okay.
However, your arrow flies basically like because the dwarf it has his shield in his left hand, and he's about to bring it around to defend himself from Lithari, and you get the arrow in his throat, and he gurgles as he finishes the scream and
Nice.
goes down, or finishes the yell and goes down.
It is too bad that I didn't do that before he screamed.
Yeah,
That is
That's alright.
That is a thing.
don't worry. We only have what is it? 90 to go.
Yeah. So
Oh.
with that, Arya, that's the end of your action. He goes down. What do you do?
Well, we should probably get out of this courtyard. Where were we going?
Well, can we use reactions to talk?
Yeah, you have 6 seconds of dialogue between you.
Well, Vondal's just gonna go. End of the courtyard. Go, go, go.
Okay.
Okay.
Jesus. Like a cross.
Ever- Can we dash?
Yes, you can because your ranger ability.
So fast.
I would still recommend being as quiet as possible. If we can trick them into not knowing which door we left through.
I feel
That
like
much is true.
we don't really have a choice. As in, we're like metal clanking suits.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
Lithari?
Well, I guess best case we can.
We're not a subtle party.
Yeah, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move over. Oh shit! Move over here. Oh my god! Move over here, and draw up my longbow and ready my action in case anybody comes through.
Okay, so your action is to shoot anyone who comes through.
Actually, I only have 3 arrows, so that's not the plan.
Oh my god.
Okay.
That's not actually. I mean, I can spot you arrows if you need some. So.
These are arrows. So yeah, I'm just gonna stay here with my sword.
Wait.
Okay.
Did you just say?
I'm sorry. What?
What?
You stay here with my sword. If anybody runs past me, I'm gonna attack them.
Okay.
Lithari is.
Do you wanna? Because you can hide in plain sight, can't you?
Can I?
Do you not have? No, it's not hide in plain sight. It's the other one.
Lightly.
The one that allows you to hide even if you're only lightly obscured.
Oh,
Mask of the Wild.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
I can.
I would say you can make a hide check as your action instead if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So make me a stealth check. Okay.
Holy shit.
Do I get plus 2?
Oh my god, you
yeah,
do.
you do. Vondal.
Ridiculous.
Right.
This is too much.
I guess.
Form starts shimmering. You're like smoke in the.
Yeah, you are hiding like in the heat haze from the brazier.
Do I see any sort of guard above?
Give me a perception check as you're crossing. Not yet.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna hold an action. If I see someone above, he's getting a guiding bolt to the face.
Okay.
Oh.
Though not specifically the face. I'm just gonna shoot
Just
it
guiding bolt, yeah.
like, with a holy laser.
I don't think cold shots are a thing in this system anymore.
No, I
Uh,
know they are in a lot of
Kallistrate.
systems, but your accuracy lower. So
I'm just gonna don't have much range, so I'm just gonna kind of run across to the door.
yep.
That works.
Dash, 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 dash.
Just start clank, 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 clank.
No, we already know what noise
Huge
Kallistrate makes
dragonborn.
from Helena's art.
Oh yeah.
There are duplicates in this list, I've just realised. It's fine.
Rip.
Because, yeah, Vondal is in my list twice.
Yeah, but not in ours.
Yeah, not in ours.
I don't know how that happened, but...
Did Vondal just disappear from our list?
No, he's at the bottom.
Oh,
No,
there.
I'm
you
just
just-
at the bottom because I've just had a turn.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay. We lost somebody from the thing.
It was
Fine.
me. Sorry.
Okay.
I
Oh, whoops,
accidentally
Kelariis, I
closed
just clicked
tab.
20 times. Yeah, there's 2 Kellarises as well. Where do you guys see Kelariis?
at the
At
bottom.
the
now.
At the
top.
bottom now.
Okay.
Bottom.
Okay, so it is Kelariis' turn. So.
Didn't she just take it?
I just went.
Yeah.
I just ran.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah. Okay. So now it's it's these dudes. So 1. No, let me click. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a lot of lag. 6. As the door behind Lyra opens, and
Uh-oh.
a guard comes through. Seeing you guys hiding behind the wall and seeing his dead companion, he too is going to draw his sword. He also yells to his companions, and he is going to attack Lyra.
That's mean.
He does not hit.
Well,
2, 6. 1, 2, 3, 6. Uh, 6. Oh yeah, he should be 1 further across. Okay, Lyra.
rah.
Oh, hang on.
Wait,
This isn't quite right.
are you sure Leo doesn't want to run?
Lyra's going to attack that dude. She does not hit him. He is too heavily armored.
Damn. Yeah, I don't really want to run because then I provoke an attack of opportunity. Not that it really matters, but
There may be
Oh.
plenty more attacks of opportunity in the near future.
that's true. Okay.
Wait, Grim's not on the initiative order. Oh no, he
I-
is.
Yeah.
He is.
I-
I've had to reorder the initiative order because it fucked up.
Just kidding.
There's someone else that goes before me that wasn't.
Sorry, I just saw the entire thing like switch. And I was like,
Yeah.
what happened?
Okay. So that's the end of Lyra's turn. Yeah.
I was so slow. I skipped
Yeah.
the turn.
Okay.
Oh, Grim.
4. Okay. A dude emerges through that door. He does not seem to be wearing the same armor as the guards. He is wearing basically like a chain shirt over like hardened leather, and is carrying a shield and a war pick. Lithari.
Does he not set off Vondal's,
No, because Vondal specifically said he was shooting at people above him.
Oh.
No.
Just kidding.
As specified.
I did not remember. I'm sorry.
Oh, hang on, that's not Lithari. That's the fake Lithari. Nah, it's Grimstone.
This is not what I was hoping.
Okay, I should probably have some more dramatic music now to like you guys are actually have actually roused the attention of this fort.
1, 2, 4, 5. Do I dash or do I throw dart? No, I'm just gonna dash. 4, 5. There we go. So let's retreat into the hallway.
Okay. So top of the round. Vondal, make me a guiding bolt attack as a Duragar with a crossbow looks over the battlements.
Aha!
Aha!
Aha! That's bollocks.
Oh,
Channel Divinity. It's a weapon attack. Or is it a weapon attack?
No, it's a spell attack. It's not a
Yeah,
weapon
I
attack.
can't
Okay,
channel
so
Divinity.
guiding bolt soars past his head. He's gonna make a crossbow attack at you. That's 21. Yes, that's enough to hit.
Yep.
You take 3 points of piercing damage as a crossbow bolt flies down and hits you. That is all he can do. Arya.
I can attack and then move, right?
Yes.
Okay. Gonna shoot this guy by Lyra.
Okay. Pachoo. That is not enough to hit.
Ah, shit. Okay. Great.
Just clatters
I'm
off his
gonna-
big hot bomb shield.
I'm gonna run over here. Can I go through this door?
Yeah, you can push the door open. Let me open it for you.
Find a horde of enemies.
Yeah.
Please, no.
I mean, I was really expecting this statue in the middle to come alive and fuck us all, so who knows?
No, it's just a statue for once.
Just a statue.
Cool, yeah, the door is now open for you.
And then Lyra's gonna attack. Still doesn't hit.
Oh yeah, but with reaction. Nomp. Nope.
No nomming today.
Lithari.
Okay, I'm gonna jump out of hiding.
Okay.
Run, make my way right here. And yeah, just show for everybody to get through the door.
Okay.
And hold my action if anybody comes up and tries to
Out
hit
of
me.
curiosity, what language do you do that in?
Common.
Okay.
Yeah, just trying to tell everybody to get through the door.
Yep.
And
That's that.
I just
hold my
imagine you-
action. If anybody gets close to me, I'm gonna hit them.
Okay. Vondal.
I guess Vondal's moving. He's probably gonna stay there. And I'm not sure I like the look of the dude who came out the door nearest me. So I'm gonna try and guiding bolt him.
Okay. Boosh.
That's much better.
Nice.
That is a hit. Okay. You blast him with a guiding bolt, and he is lit up like a Christmas tree. He cradles his face, and you suspect that you momentarily blinded him with the guiding bolt, because these guys are sunlight sensitive. So
Oh, yeah. If you Kallistrate, be turning your sword.
Kallistrate sword is on. Kallistrate sword is not
Yeah.
daylight.
Claris's
No.
sword, A is not daylight, and B has never been turned off, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
Vondal, I don't
luckily-
suppose you have daylight prepped.
Nope.
Damn
God
it.
damn it.
Shit.
Why would I
The whole
prep
time
this
in
useful
second.
spell in the Underdark ever?
To be fair, we didn't know we were
To-
gonna
yeah,
be
you
down
didn't
there.
know.
A, I didn't know we were going to the Underdark. B, we haven't had a long rest since entering the Underdark. So
Kelariis.
it's not like I could have prepped it anyway. Fuck you.
Wow.
Next
Sorry,
time.
Sorry, I was a bit aggressive.
He just told you.
How dumb is Kelariis gonna be about this?
Kelariis.
No, I'm not.
Your
Lithari
heart.
just yelled for
I
everybody to
know,
get in.
I know. Can I go past Arya? Yes, we talked
Yeah,
about this all the time.
Allies never block movement
Yeah.
unless they're in combat.
I just want to. Oh, wow, that's more than I thought it was. Okay. Guess I'm just here.
Yep.
Keeping an eye out for people.
You really can't see very well in this room, so
Yeah.
there's very little to describe to you other than the fact that the wall opposite the door you entered appears to have a number of portraits and tapestries hanging from it.
Fun. I guess I'll hold an action if I see their Durgar. I'll attack.
Okay. Armor
Notice where they're from.
dudes.
God, I can barely see outside the into the courtyard.
1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Yeah. These guys, running out of the corridor, begin to form a shield wall.
What?
Okay, that was
They're
unexpected.
using battle tactics.
They are.
I suppose they are like trained guards.
Well, these guys in the with the shields and the plate mail appear to be more, not chip plate mail, heavy grey chain. They appear to be more guard-like than the others, and they definitely move as military unit.
Well, I think this is more Lithari's area of expertise, so we should be good, you guys.
Yeah. If this was elves, one of them would be you. So yeah, they begin to form a formation.
Say your area of expertise. This is probably exactly what Vondal taught his militia to do. So, because it's shield wall, it's effective, man.
Yeah. Okay, one of them is going to attempt to stab Lyra again. Does not succeed. The Durgar in the back row, behind the shield wall, exchange their short swords for javelins, and throw 2 javelins at Lithari.
No.
We catch one of them.
A 15 doesn't hit you.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so 2 javelins soar past you, which you dexterously dodge. Lyra.
Okay, Lyra's gonna dash out. a bit.
Are you going to dash or are you going to disengage?
Disengage.
Because disengage you can only move 40, dash you can move 80.
Only 40.
But you
Only.
get object attack. Yeah, well, she's a wolf, so
Yeah.
movement
Yeah.
speed out the
Movement
ass,
on it,
boys.
Poor Alexa, dude. Look, I gave you those boots that upped your movement speed.
Yeah, you gave me the boots.
Yeah,
That's why I
Vondal
said
has.
Grim looks on in envy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Grim was on it, me, right?
The only person in the party who can move 25 feet.
The
It's
dude with
okay.
his war pick.
Usually Kelariis just picks him up and runs, so it works out.
True.
You ready to
That
attack,
happened
didn't you?
once.
Yeah.
No, it happened in the swamp as well.
Did it?
No, we discussed it. It didn't actually.
Oh no, I think we.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't think
well, it
Oh,
almost
okay.
happened.
I mean, regardless, it has happened at least once, so
Correct.
it's a real canon thing that has happened.
That's 2 hits. Okay. Yeah, you lay into this guy twice, and he falls. His companion rushes up to you, sees him fall, and is really generally surprised that you just killed one of his friends in, like, literally 6 seconds.
Oh.
So, yeah. He gets the feeling he may have bitten off a little more than he can chew. The guy in the back, I think, is... Yeah, he's gonna... he moved, so he's gonna try and throw a javelin at Lithari as well. This has disadvantage, I think, because it's beyond the range. Yeah, it misses anyway. Grim. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, he goes at the top of the round. I forgot.
I will throw a dart at the nearest guy.
Okay.
And I will use a maneuvering attack.
Okay.
Allow Lithari to move up to half her movement.
Okay.
Without provoking opportunity attacks.
Yes.
Okay. So, roll your damage.
Okay. Well, I guess it's still 7 in total.
Yeah, the dart embeds itself in an exposed part of the breastplate and armor.
Nice.
Lithari, you can now move up to half your movement without provoking attacks of opportunity.
I mean, Lithari's covering everybody's attacks, so she's just gonna move over here.
I mean, as you like clearly want to like wait, Vondal's just gonna go, ladies first.
Well, if that's all you're gonna move, I'll throw a second dart just because I can.
Okay, that's a hit.
Okay. Another 2.
Okay, yeah. It's like whoop whoop.
And I will move back.
Okay.
Well, since Lithari is not gonna let me do my roll, I'll just go in and search. Let's see, 1, 2, 3.
Okay. You can see a corridor that leads off with a wooden door. I don't. Can you see the other end of this room?
I can see. Yeah.
Yeah. At the far end of this room, you see a heavy metal door.
Okay. This one. Huh. Wait, and what are? Oh, those are tapestries.
Yeah. There's a number of tapestries and paintings hanging on the wall. Top of the round, crossbow guy. Oh wow, he's rolling really well. That Lithari, a 22 hits you, yes?
Yes. I am going to deflect missiles.
Okay.
I need to look up that again.
I believe it's a D10 plus monk level.
Plus dex, okay.
Oh, D10 plus dex, okay.
Or D10 plus dex plus monk.
Oh, plus monk level, okay.
It's kind of nuts.
Yeah. I think you're gonna catch this regardless. Yeah. So, yeah, you catch the crossbow bolt as it's fired at you.
And yeah, I'll just kind of hold on to it. I'm not going to throw it back.
Okay. Add 1 crossbow bolt to your inventory, or just throw it away. Arya.
Touch it for a minute.
Where's crossbow guy? Can I get him here?
He's a floor above you. Yes, you can definitely see him.
I would like to shoot him.
Okay. Draw the bow.
Now that's enough.
That's a hit. Okay,
Wow.
cool.
God, finally.
You sink an arrow into him, and he Wilhelm screams as he falls from the top of the battlements.
Good. I'm so glad.
Where was he? Does he land on the fucking phalanx?
No. He's
Damn it.
he's on the opposite
Aw.
side. Like he's on this wall
Oh,
side.
that would have been so good.
For the purposes of the recording, I'm going to take a brief break and get some water. So we'll be back in just a second.